So let me ask you a question. Am I the jerk for calling my own sister's wedding a scam? That one question has basically detonated a bomb in my family. See, my sister got my parents to take out a $22,000 loan for her dream wedding. The problem? It was all a lie. And now that I'm the one who exposed her, everyone is pointing the finger at me, saying I'm the one ruining her big day. So you need to hear this and tell me, am I losing my mind, or am I the only person seeing what's really going on? This story is a wild ride through family loyalty, manipulation, and the absolutely insane pressure of modern weddings. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's get right into the story. The original poster, let's call her Sarah, starts by setting the scene. Her younger sister, who we'll call Jessica, just got engaged to her fiancé, Mark. Now Jessica has always been, let's say, the star of the family. The one with big dreams and an even bigger personality. From the moment Mark put a ring on it, she went into full-blown bridezilla mode. And her vision wasn't for some nice, local church wedding. Oh no. Jessica declared she deserved nothing less than a breathtaking, cinematic wedding in Tuscany, Italy. She and Mark presented this whole elaborate plan to the family. They had slideshows and Pinterest boards. They waxed poetic about the golden hour light over the vineyards, the ancient stone villas, the multi-course Italian feast. It was all incredibly romantic, and her parents, who have always had a massive soft spot for Jessica, were eating it up. Sarah says she was skeptical from the start, but she kept quiet. Jessica and Mark presented a perfectly reasonable budget, claiming they had saved up most of it. They just needed a little bit of help to get them over the finish line. And I have to stop the story right there. A destination wedding in Tuscany? That you expect your parents to help pay for? We're not just raising red flags here, we're launching an entire fleet of them. There's a level of entitlement that is just staggering. The second your wedding requires guests to own a passport, you need to be ready to pay for the entire thing yourself. You don't get to have champagne dreams on a beer budget that you expect other people to fund. It puts everyone, especially parents, in an impossible position. They want to give their kids the world, and sometimes they get so caught up in the fantasy they forget to check the price tag. And believe me, this is just the appetizer. The main course of nerve is coming right up. So the story continues. A few months pass and wedding planning is in full swing. Then the phone call happens. It's Jessica in a total panic, crying hysterically to their parents. According to Sarah, Jessica tells them the exclusive Tuscan venue needs the final, non-refundable deposit immediately, or they'll lose the date. And the amount for that deposit? You guessed it, $22,000. She lays it on thick. She tells them her and Mark's savings are gone. She says this is the only thing standing between her and her perfect day. She talks about being humiliated and devastated if it all falls apart. She made it sound like a life or death situation. And her parents, seeing their baby girl so distraught, caved. They agreed to take out a personal loan for the $22,000. Okay, let that number sink in for a second. $22,000. That is not chipping in. That is a down payment on a house in many places. That is a new car. It's multiple years of college tuition. And it's for one day. For a party that is already a massive extravagance. And the pressure tactics. The waterworks, the fake panic, the non-refundable deadline. It's classic emotional manipulation 101. It's what professional scammers do, but it's 1,000 times more effective when it's your own kid, because they know your love and protective instincts are all tangled up in the decision. I've heard so many stories just like this, where a family member lies about their finances to get money for a wedding, but Sarah just had this gut feeling that something here was deeply, deeply wrong. And spoiler alert, her gut was screaming the truth. So Sarah sees how stressed this loan has made her parents. They aren't wealthy, and this was a huge financial sacrifice that was clearly weighing on them. This is where Sarah's suspicion kicks into overdrive. She loves her sister, but she loves her parents more, and she hates seeing them get taken advantage of. So she starts paying closer attention. Then she gets the tip-off, and of course it comes from social media. She stumbles upon a public Facebook post from one of the groom's cousins. It's a photo of the groom's family at dinner with the caption, "Celebrating with the crew. So excited for Tuscany. Can't believe Jessica and Mark are being so generous and helping us all fly out to be there. Hashtag best couple ever, hashtag Tuscany bound." Wait, what? Let's read that again. Helping us all fly out to be there. Ding ding ding. The record scratches, the movie grinds to a halt. This is the moment Sarah's blood starts to boil, and frankly, so does mine. The money wasn't for a venue deposit. It was to fly out the groom's entire extended family. So her parents, now in debt, Paid for Mark's third cousin twice removed to sip Prosecco in the Italian countryside? Are you kidding me? This is no longer just entitlement. This is a five-alarm fire of deception. It's a calculated fraud against her own parents. And hey, if you are as floored by this as I am and you live for this kind of drama, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. It really helps out and you will not want to miss how this confrontation goes down. Okay, back to the insanity. This kind of exploitation is a pattern in many wedding-related family disputes. Sarah knows a Facebook post isn't enough. It can be explained away. She needs concrete proof. She gets her chance while helping her mom with some computer stuff. Her mom asks her to find an email from the wedding planner, and while in the account, with permission, she sees an email chain with the Tuscan venue. Her heart is pounding, but she clicks on it. And there it is. The smoking gun. In black and white. She finds the real venue contract. The final deposit was paid months ago, and for a fraction of the $22,000. But that's not all. In a separate email chain between Jessica and Mark, accidentally forwarded to the parents, Sarah finds the master plan. Attached to the email is a spreadsheet titled Tuscany Travel Subsidy. It lists names, all from the groom's side, with flight costs next to them totaling to the $22,000. They didn't even try to cover their tracks. There it is. The cold, hard proof. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a little white lie. This was a planned, deliberate scam. There's no other word for it. This is looking your own parents in the eye and plotting to take their money under false pretenses for something that benefits your new family, not even your shared one. It's a betrayal so deep it's almost hard to comprehend. At this point, I think we can all agree that scam is the perfect word. Sarah is just sitting there staring at the screen feeling sick. What do you do with this? She knows that no matter what, a bomb is about to go off, but she can't let her parents keep paying off a loan for such a massive lie. She makes the incredibly hard choice to tell them. She sits them down and calmly walks them through the evidence. The Facebook post, the real contract, and finally, the spreadsheet. She says the look on her parents' faces was something she'll never forget. A rapid cycle of confusion, shock, and then just profound hurt. Her mother started to cry silently. Her father just stared at the wall. Can you imagine being the one to break your own parents' hearts just to tell them the truth? To show them that their child, the one they doted on, took advantage of them so completely? It's a horrible position to be in, and Sarah showed immense courage. Most people would look the other way to avoid the drama. She did the right thing. Of course, her parents confront Jessica. They call her and Mark over that night. And here, the story shifts from a tragedy to a farce of narcissism. Did Jessica break down and apologize? Did she show a single shred of remorse? No, of course not. According to Sarah, who was listening from the other room, Jessica immediately went on the attack. She didn't deny it. The evidence was undeniable. Instead, she tried to justify it, yelling, "It's still for the wedding. What's the big deal? It's helping family get to my wedding, so it's a wedding expense." When that didn't work, she turned her rage on Sarah. She screamed that Sarah was a jealous shrew trying to ruin her big day. "You were always jealous of me. You could never stand to see me happy, and now you're trying to destroy the most important day of my life." Whoa, hold on. This reaction is a masterclass in blame shifting, straight out of the narcissist's playbook. When caught red-handed, you don't apologize. You attack. You reframe the story so the person who exposed you becomes the villain. The problem isn't the lie, the problem is getting caught. The audacity to stand there, having just scammed your parents out of over 20 grand, and claim the person who revealed the truth is the one ruining things, it's staggering. It's enough gaslighting to power a city. And Mark, the fiancé? He just stood there silently, complicit. His family was getting a free Italian vacation, courtesy of his future in-laws' debt. This is where the family completely implodes. The argument ends with Jessica and Mark storming out, but not before Jessica calls Sarah a miserable snake. The next day the phones start ringing. But it's not calls of support for Sarah or her parents. It's the extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all fed Jessica's twisted version of the story. In her telling, her parents had agreed to help with costs, but now, because of Sarah's jealousy, they were trying to ruin her wedding over a tiny misunderstanding. And just like that, here come the flying monkeys. The family enablers. The Just Keep the Peace Brigade. They start calling Sarah one by one. Her aunt tells her that family is more important than money, and she needs to apologize for upsetting Jessica. Her uncle says she's causing drama and should have kept her mouth shut. They all have the same message: you're ruining your sister's wedding. Let me get this straight. The person ruining the wedding isn't the one who committed large-scale financial fraud against her elderly parents. No, the person ruining it is the one who brought facts and truth into the equation. This is that twisted family logic that lets toxic people get away with anything for generations. This need to pretend everything is okay is suddenly more important than honesty or protecting their own family from being scammed. It is absolutely infuriating. And the most heartbreaking part? It started to work. Sarah says her parents, worn down by the constant calls and Jessica's campaign of victimhood, started to buckle. They were caught between their daughter's betrayal and the pressure from the rest of the family. They started saying things to Sarah like, "Maybe you could have been more delicate, and we just want Jessica to be happy," and the absolute worst one, "At the end of the day, it's just money." Oh, this part is soul-crushing. This is the ultimate betrayal. When your own parents, the victims of the scam, start to crack and turn on you, the one person who had their back, that's a wound that cuts deeper than any lie. To be made the villain for defending your own parents is just cruel. Sarah was now completely alone, painted as the bad guy in a story where she was the only one with any integrity. So this brings us to the end of Sarah's post. The wedding is just a couple of weeks away. Jessica has given her parents an ultimatum: get Sarah to apologize and let it go, or they're uninvited from the wedding. The rest of the family is giving Sarah the silent treatment. She has stood her ground. She told her family flat out that she will not apologize for telling the truth. And on top of that, she's not going to the wedding. She can't, in good conscience, watch her sister celebrate a dream funded by a nightmare of lies. She ends her post asking the world that one simple question: am I the a-hole for calling my sister's wedding a scam and refusing to go? So here's my final verdict. Let's be crystal clear. 100% unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, Sarah, you are not the a-hole. What your sister did wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a calculated, premeditated act of financial and emotional manipulation. It was a scam. She saw her parents as a walking ATM to be exploited for her own lavish choices. She lied to them, manipulated them, and when caught, showed zero remorse, instead launching a smear campaign against the one person who held her accountable. Your sister's lies are what are ruining her wedding, not your truth. And the family? The aunts, uncles, and cousins? They are cowards and enablers, prioritizing the comfort of a lie over the discomfort of the truth. They're more concerned with the appearance of a happy family than the reality of one. Pressuring you to apologize is morally bankrupt. Apologize for what? For having a conscience? For protecting your parents? It's absurd. You did the right thing. It was hard and painful, but it was right. Standing up for what's right when you're all alone is the definition of integrity. You are not ruining a wedding. You are refusing to participate in a celebration of a fraud. There is a huge difference, but that's just my take. This one is so layered with family drama that I need to know what you all think. Was Sarah in the wrong for exposing the truth and blowing everything up? Or was her sister's wedding a total scam from the start? Who is the real villain in this story? The sister? The fiancé? The enabling family? Let me know your verdicts in the comments below. I want to read every single one. Thanks for listening to this one. It was absolutely wild, and a perfect reminder of how money in weddings can bring out the absolute worst in people. If you want more stories like this, you know what to do. And believe me, there are plenty more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.